On behalf of the Town Council, I'm calling our meeting to order. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody here this evening. Especially I'd like to welcome Chief Patillo and members of the press. The next item on the agenda is changes to the agenda. Do any of the councilors want to make changes? No. The next item on the agenda is council comments. First on the list is Councilor Beddiston.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a feeling that Bart's going to speak to this, but I want to congratulate the Silver City Museum on the renewal of their accreditation of the American Association of Museums. That is an amazing feat, and I commend you and your staff. And also congratulations on being selected the director of the Silver City Museum. So I have to say that the way you were able to get the staff to work together and to get them doing this, it was incredibly impressive to me as someone who understands that process. And I'm just really excited, so congratulations. I also wanted to mention that coming up on this Saturday at 9 a.m. is the District 1 Territorial Charter Day, which will be to be able to test a creative traffic calming measure. So it's going to be a 3D crosswalk, although I think we don't anticipate it necessarily being used as a crosswalk, but as a way to slow down the traffic. It'll be at 23rd and Yucca, and there'll be light lunch will be served, and we hope that folks will come out. It looks like the weather will be good. Knock on wood, because it is New Mexico. You never know what they project for Saturday at 66 degrees. As Councilor Condo said earlier, you could either be in shorts or it could be snow all over the ground. So if it's bad weather, we will not, meaning snowing or raining, we will not have the event. But we hope that this might work, and I just want to thank Lisa Jimenez for a really nice press release, which hopefully will be in the paper, which explains what we're trying to do with our ongoing public safety challenge of speeding and trying to slow down traffic in Silver City. The chief will be there, and Manny Howdy, the code enforcement officer, will be there. So come out, even if you don't work. We hope you'll join us in the neighborhood. It doesn't matter where you live in Silver City. Come out, bring a chair, and just sit and hang and talk with us as we paint the 3D crosswalk. We'd love to have you come and visit. All right, thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilor Cano?
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I have is that over the last couple of weeks, I know I've gotten a lot of emails and calls, and I'm sure the other councilors have too, about the expansion of Golf Park. I know people, as is usual in Silver City, think it's going to happen tomorrow. It's not. The plan is for there to be a plan, so that plan is going to take several years to come up with. There will be a whole recreational plan that happens before any construction is done. No one's going to bulldoze anything. Nothing's going to be changed overnight. So I know people have their concerns, and it's great that you're emailing us and letting us know what they are, but just be aware that nothing's going to happen in the next few months. So Mr. Brown has a plan, and we'll be working on it as soon as he's ready.
Thank you, Councilor Councilor Ray?
No comment, sir.
Very good. I have a couple of comments. Actually, I have one comment. I received a letter this past week, and it says, Dear Mayor and council members, first I must apologize for being so late in sending this note. This past August, my sister and I were on a RV road trip and passed through Silver City. we made an unfortunate decision resulting in the RV tow bar end hitch, which is hooked up to the tow car, to get stuck half in and out of the driveway at Domino's. We couldn't back up or go forward. We didn't know what to do, and along came Mike and Dwayne from the city street department. We gladly let them take over. They and a couple of others managed to get us freed and safely onto the street. They helped us hook back up in a safe location, and with nothing more than thank you as a payment, sent us on our way. What a wonderful city with fabulous citizens and employees. Thanks for stopping, Mike and Dwayne. You're the best. Jody. I think what this illustrates is just how important a first impression is to people who come to Silver City. Because I feel certain that that lady will spread that news wherever she goes and talks to people who are going on vacation or trips. And on the other side of the token, that's why it's really important to be patient sometimes with visitors and treat them kindly and treat them with respect. And I think Silver City is really good with this. That's one of our strengths, is how welcoming our citizens are to visitors and tourists. The other thing is, Councilor Bedison, as mayor, I proclaim November 16, 2019 to be rain-free.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. So don't worry about umbrellas. Any other council comments? Yes.
Just real briefly, we should be putting an announcement in the paper. The University Museum, for the first time, will be open on the weekend before fall break, so November 23rd and 24th. That's Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 4. And will be open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday after Thanksgiving. So I just wanted to make sure that if folks need somewhere to walk off the turkey or whatever, roast beef, whatever they decide to have, bring your family on down. The University Museum will be open for visitors. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes of the October 22, 2019 regular meeting. Do I hear a motion? Councilor Edison?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the minutes of the October 22nd meeting of 2019.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Councilor Ray, thank you. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is public input, and I don't think anyone signed up. Did they, Ann? Okay. Next item on the agenda is reports. We will next hear a report from Gary Staley.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the
Could you
council.
turn the microphone on?
Mayor and council, can you hear me? Just to follow up, it's been a while since I reported out on some things that we've been involved in with the town with our community youth building group. But prior to that, I just wanted to I had an experience this morning. I was down to see Charlene down at the Visitor Center, and I've noticed a young gal with a backpack on, and you don't see them too often this time of year, but this was a through hiker who had left the Canadian border on June 21st, 25-year-old gal from Hawaii, and she was almost to her destination down to the Mexican border. On the Continental Divide Trail. We stopped and visited for a minute, and she reiterated what the letter you just read indicated, how friendly this town was. She'd stayed here 2 or 3 nights and said she would be back. She's a tour guide, and that's her day job in Hawaii. And so we had just a pleasant conversation, and just, most of those those through hikers will start in April in our area and head north. But there's a growing number that start up on the Canadian border in Glacier in mid to the end of June, once the snow starts to melt a little bit, and head south, and they'll wind up here, and I've spoken to a number of them, but just wanted to reinforce what you had indicated in the letter. Yes, I do want to report on the mayor's Civic Day. Mayor Ladner was out there with us. I'm not sure he's recovered yet, but he worked a full 4 hours with us. We had a crew of about 13 or 14 youth. The town departments have just been incredible to work with, Mr. Brown. They blocked off 2 lanes, 2 inside lanes, so this Highway 180 West in front of Pizza Hut. And so for safety purposes, and we had someone from the Parks Department who had brought a loader, town loader over, and we had stockpiled some river rock that the town had purchased for us over at the old Waterworks building in that yard, and the Parks Department fellow, Austin's his name, ran the loader, brought it over, and that morning and 2 Saturdays later, so it'll be the 19th and the 26th and the 2nd of November, 19th, 26th of October, 2nd of November, our youth moved nearly 30 tons of rock and placed it in the median cutouts, what they call catchment ponds. And I'm not sure if you've driven by to see it, but we think it looks so much better. It looks finished. It was a project that was started about 3 years ago with a different grant, and they weren't able to quite get it finished to where it looked really nice. And so I spoke with Mr. Brown, and he agreed that our crew would tackle that as a part of the Mayor's Civic Day. So next time you go out there, take a look, all of those catchment ponds, there are a lot of them, and there's a lot of rock in there. Now we'll catch the water, hold some moisture. Our next step in that would be to plant some wildflowers that will be able to take advantage of the moisture that the rocks will now hold. The rocks will help serve for conservation purposes, and we think within a couple of years all of those medians will have color in them most all summer. So that's one of the projects. We've done a number of other projects. We installed some benches at Noble Park that the town already had, and we provided the labor. Again, the mayor was with us working on that day. I think he likes working with kids. And then some upcoming events that we will have is a week from Saturday, the 23rd, we will have a major trail day up on Boston Hill. And there's been some rough-in work done on some new trails, and the goal of that is to connect an outside circular trail all around Boston Hill for both hiking and bicycle use. And so we will have a trail day on the 23rd, starting at 10 o'clock. We've been inviting one to come out and join us. The Town's Trail and Open Space Committee will be there. And so those are just a few things that we've helped. We helped paint downtown on Kelly Street, a crosswalk there, and the sidewalk. We've also continuing to build some more planters to put downtown. We actually have a high school construction class that have made about 10 this fall, and we have another group that the goal is to make 5. So we're hoping that by next spring we can actually double the number of flower beds, flower boxes that we have for downtown, and be able to maintain those. So it's been a great experience. These youth have, I think, learned some skills, not only some hard skills, but some soft skills of how to work with people, how to work in teams. And we've been averaging about a dozen youth per week to come in to work with us. We have other sites that we work at that are not town sites. We help out once a month at the food bank, the food pantry. These kids love that assignment. We help out at the Habitat Restore. And so our youth are getting a lot of experience within the community to be connected to people that when they see them on the street or see them in Walmart or wherever, they will recognize them, and it's a different relationship than we had 5 years ago with our youth. So I just want to thank the town, Mr. Brown, Mayor, all of you for allowing us to be part of these great projects. And we're not perfect. Alex will have to go back and probably do some stuff over again, but we're happy to help that too. So if you have any questions, be happy to answer them.
Councilman Edison?
It's not a question, but it's a comment. I look forward to having everybody out there this upcoming Saturday. It's really great to have the youth there doing these projects, and I think that our residents really appreciate that, being able to talk with them and everything. So
Tell me the time again.
it's supposed to start at 9.
Okay, we probably won't be there till 10, but we're going to decorate the museum right at 9. It takes us about an hour.
Okay, so James set the time, so I would
Okay.
suggest that you talk with him.
I will.
Because my understanding was that's what time, and that's how it's been published. So, okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Thank you, Mr. Stanley.
Okay.
I'd like to thank the manager of Pizza Hut, which is right across the street. Completely unexpected, as everyone was finishing up. He brings over, how many pizzas was that? Several, yeah. He just donated them to the boys and girls that was working in the group, and it didn't take them long to eat them all. And these kind of things just verify what I've said time and time again, that we have a really great town council. Councilor Benison's project this Saturday will conclude a list of projects that have been completed throughout the year. Just yesterday, I was driving, I can't remember the name of the street, but I passed by Ibarra Park, and I remembered the day we worked on that park. You remember that? And it still looks great. Those purple walls just jump out at you, and it reminded me, though, that at some point we need to step up and invest some money in some of these parks, the swings and slides and stuff like that. But anyway, thank you. Next item on the agenda is staff reports. Mr. Brown?
The only report we have is from Bart Brazili. I asked him to do a short report, and I just wanted to echo Councilor Benison's comments to congratulate him.
Sure.
Being appointed the director as well as the accreditation. But I've seen all the work that he himself and his staff did this year. They did a great job.
You want to just push that little button and turn on the...
Looks like it's still on.
Okay.
Good pushing there, Gary. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for your vote of confidence and appointing me as the next director of the Silver City Museum, which is quite an honor. It's a wonderful place to live. You may know I wasn't born here, but I chose to live here because of all the great qualities of Silver, and the museum is one of them. I'm here to announce that the museum, Silver City Museum, has been recognized by a national association, the American Alliance of Museums, which is a coalition of about 5,000 museums in the United States. So that includes the Metropolitan Museum of Art and the
New Mexico Historical History Museum, as well as zoos and botanical gardens. So it's a pretty powerful group. And we have gone through a review process that has led to us being accredited by the American Alliance of Museums. This is a big honor. If you're a museum guy, this is like the top. This is the highest honor a museum could get in the United States, and it put us through a series of self-assessments. We had to kick the tires. We had to look at policies. We had to look at storage spaces. We had to look at our collections records. We had to look at the record of community investment. And a review by our peers, and what they say in their awards announcement is that this is recognized as the field's gold standard for museum excellence. And it signifies a museum's quality and credibility to the entire museum community, and to governments and outside agencies and the museum-going public. Let me just put a little this in perspective. There's about 33,000 museums in the United States. Only 1,000 of those museums are accredited. The Silver City Museum is 1 in 3,300. If you look at municipal museums, because there's some museums that are run by, like the Las Cruces museums, only 6 in 100 are accredited. So we're in pretty rarefied air. AAM, our association, says becoming accredited makes us a leader among museums. So we're doing things right. We're meeting the highest standards. So we're all very, very proud. But I want to thank our staff who worked really hard. There was a lot of backfilling and renovating of spaces and getting on top of collections records and all sorts of stuff. But our staff worked really hard to pull off a process that AAM says should take 18 months. We did it in 6 months. It was a forced march, but people were inspired to get it done, and they worked very hard. Our volunteers, our friends group, the Silver City Museum Society, the town management. I want to especially thank Alex Brown and the council for supporting the museum. You endorsed our strategic plan. You had a proclamation that declared your support and value of the museum. Those were important key documents. We couldn't have done it without your help. And I also want to thank Priscilla Lucero and Emily Gorkovich of the Council of Governments who helped us facilitate a very community-involved process that got our strategic plan together. So it was a community effort. Word is spreading. AAM has just sent out a news release to their 5,000 members across the United States, from Alaska to New York to Florida to California. You all have a copy of this at your desk. But word is getting out. The New Mexico Association of Museums has already posted something on their listserv congratulating the Silver City Museum. So museums across New Mexico have heard about this already. We're very, very proud. I mean, one of the things accreditation does for us is it gives us national prestige. It lets people know the Silver City Museum is one of the best in the country. It also puts us in good stead when we go to national foundations. If we go to the big foundations out of the big cities for support, they'll often ask, are you accredited by AAM? So it's our gold standard. Probably the most important thing was that it pulled staff and volunteers in the community together to think about what the Silver City Museum is and what it means to us, and it helped us improve our operations, so we're better off for it. I think that's it, unless there's any questions, but thank you for all your support.
Any questions or comments?
I have a quick comment.
Councilor Madison?
I just want to let you know, Bart, that it's also gone out on the New Mexico archaeology listserv.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and that, it's not just New Mexico archaeologists that are on it. So that went out today.
Yeah. I get goosebumps thinking about the good work all the staff and volunteers did to bring attention to Silver City. It's an honor to be in this spot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other staff reports, Mr. Brown? Okay. Next on the agenda is new business. New business item 11A is the approval/disapproval of a special dispenser permit and waiver of NMSA 1978 60-6B-10 for alcohol service near a church for the Power and Light Holiday Market on December 5, 2019, with alcohol service from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. at 601 North Bullard, Silver City, New Mexico. Liquor license holder, Dow Enterprises, LLC, DBA, Q's Southern Bistro, LLC, liquor license number 28098, 101 West College Avenue, Silver City, New Mexico, 88061. Welcome, Mr. Quintana.
How y'all doing? So I was just approached by the owners of Power and Light to do their open bar that they have there at the Power and Light. They did it last year, and I guess it's kind of their annual thing that they do every year. They had it last year, and I think that there was liquor there as well, but they decided to go with me this year. So that's pretty much it. It's open to the public, and we'll have our security. We'll be wristbanding all the people that are drinking, and it will only be allowed in Suite F, so not the whole entire Health Plaza.
Ann showed me the letter from the church that's nearby.
Yeah. They approved of it. They didn't have any concerns or anything like that.
Any questions or comments from the council? Thank you. Do I hear a motion? Councilor Ray?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve of a special dispenser permit and waiver of NMSA 1978 60-6B-10 for alcohol service near a church for the Power and Light Holiday Market on December 5, 2019, with the alcohol service from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. at 601 North Bullard, Silver City, New Mexico. Liquor license holder, Dow Enterprises, LLC, DBA Q's Southern Bistro, LLC, liquor license number 28098, 101 West College Avenue, Silver City, New Mexico, 88061.
Thank you. Do I hear a second? Councilor Collins?
I'll second that motion as stated.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments from the council? Any questions or comments from the general public? Do I hear, do you have a second? Yeah, okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next on our item 11B is the approval/disapproval of resolution number 2019-42, a resolution granting authority to execute a loan/grant agreement and supporting documents between the town of Silver City and the Colonias Infrastructure Board for Ridge Road improvements. Mr. Brown?
Mayor and Council, this is a project that we've been working on for the last few years through the Colonias program. Last year, we acquired the funds for plan and design of the entire project from Highway 90 to the city limits. This is actual construction money for Phase 1, which will be from Highway 90 through up to Pheasant. It'll be a curb gutter on the entire length of the project, with sidewalks only on the east side. So on the west side, we'll just have curb and gutter, bike lanes, and repaving of the entire length of the road. This is a grant loan agreement. The grant is $722,000. The loan portion is $80,000. So the total project is estimated to be about $802,000. And with that, and we will be looking to apply for Phase 2, which will be from Pheasant to the city limits under next year's grant process.
Any questions or comments from the council? Any questions or comments from the general public? Do I hear a motion? Councilor Ray?
Are we discussing? Town of Silver City, New Mexico, Resolution Number 2019-42. A resolution authorizing the execution and delivery of a Colonial Infrastructure Project Fund Loan/Grant Agreement by and among the New Mexico Colonial Infrastructure Board, CIB, and the New Mexico Finance Authority, and collectively with the CIB, the lenders/grantors, and the Town of Silver City, the borrower and grantee, in the total amount of $802,978, evidencing an obligation of the borrower grantee to utilize the loan grant amount solely for the purpose of financing the cost of Phase 1 construction of street and drainage improvements for Ridge Road, and solely in the manner described in the loan/grant agreement, providing for the pledge and payment of the loan amount of $80,298 solely from the 1/8 of 1% of municipal local option gross receipts, tax distributed to the borrower/grantee by the State Taxation and Revenue Department, accepting the grant amount of $722,680, certifying that the loan/grant amount, together with other funds available to the borrower/grantee, is sufficient to complete the project, approving the form of and other details concerning the loan/agreement, ratifying actions heretofore taken, repealing all action inconsistent with this resolution, and authorizing the taking of other actions in connection with the execution and delivery of a loan/grant agreement. So I move to approve of resolution number 2019-42, a resolution granting authority to execute a loan/grant agreement and supporting documents between the Town of Silver City and the Colonial Infrastructure Board for the Ridge Road improvements.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilor Edison?
I second the motion, and the long resolution that, the Councilor Ray read.
Any comments or discussion from the rest of the council? Roll call, please, Van.
Councilor Connor?
Aye.
Councilor Ray?
Aye.
Councilor Edison?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. This concludes the business of the Town of Silver City. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Councilor Edison?
I move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're hereby adjourned.